Viewers, welcome to our program on Immigration and You. I am your immigration attorney Michael Fulwani, and once again we have with us attorney David Nachman, my partner. David, welcome.
Thanks so much, Michael.
In our previous programs, we were talking about our visiting the American consulates in India in various places, and we were discussing about the kind of issues that we get from our people and to bring to their attention the problems and also our clients. I mean, when the clients comes for help, we also are surprised. How do we do it? Because we don't know what happened here, right? And we see that mostly in this is 214B denials, which is a person is not able to prove that he's going to go back and not stay illegally. There we cannot press much to the consul to give us the detailed reasons. They don't. That's more discretionary. But there are petition-based cases, K1 visas, L1 visas, H1B visas, where the immigration service has gone through all the papers, all the information, approved it.
That's right.
And the people say, they go, oh, I got approval notice, I'm going to the consul, say visa stamp, tick. Tick is not going to happen.
They think it's automatic.
There's no tick there, believe me. Right. So what they do, they go in depth, the information about the employer and the employee, and based upon wherever the problem is, they will deny under section 221G. Sometimes they tell what we need, and sometimes that needs a long laundry list of 50 items, 40 items. Okay, I mean that's okay, we cannot question, the consul needs to look at something, that's fine. And sometimes they say nothing at all, 221G. The client comes and say, he's kept my case pending, we don't know. So we go back to the consul, say, let us know, is there anything we can do, assist you, any documentation, any information you need to resolve this? No. K1 is a different issue. I'll tell you more about that. Interesting. But this is where we are going to bring the notice. And there is a Department of State. I have a cable actually to the consuls that they must clarify in a 221G. They must specify the reason for the 221G. Except they don't have to say on a security issue. That's understandable. Right. So this is a very important subject that we should bring to them. Also, on a K1 is valid only for 120 days. And we talked to the consul last on a trip also on the K1 visas. They say we don't have the time to investigate. If we feel there is something wrong, right, we just wait for 121 days and say, sorry, your petition is now invalid, no longer valid, expired, right, file a new one. That's why we have been telling most of the people, forget the K1 man, get married.
Go and get married.
The consul always say, why you want to get married? Why in the US? Why don't you go and get married? You went to get engaged in India, but you don't want to get married there. Something wrong there. Right? So that's a different thing. But nevertheless, Congress has passed the K1 for fiancés of US citizens. But there is a provision, and they say that we do issue sometimes and we don't issue other times, but they should be more looking to issuances. Then if there's a fraud or misrepresentation, deny it. No, say that, okay, sorry, you're denied, K1 is denied because of this reason, okay. Then using the time period. Also, talking about the new change that has taken place in the consulates when there's an interview waiver. Now, you can talk more about the interview waiver, what it is and all that, how it works. But I'm only talking about the workload point of view. That has reduced a lot of work from the consuls. So they should have more time. Things that we are telling them to do and all that, to coordinate with the outsourcing agency and to spend more time on the applicants and giving the reasons. They they should be able to. Right. Because you explain to the viewers what is this new provision or new policy that is a grant is a waiver of the interview, not the fingerprinting. That has to be done. Tell them.
Well, the waiver of the interview is something we talked about in prior programs here. Yeah. And for certain types of visas, individuals do not have to go for the interview, so the interview is waived. Now, just going to the issue that you're raising, Michael, that extra time would be available to do other things. Well, you would assume that they would have an opportunity then to find the time to be able to give us more clarity on why a 221G denial, why a possible, what additional documentation can we use to overcome a 214B denial. But, here's the thing is that realistically, I think that I think that one of the things that you're going to start to find, and it has probably to do with the economy, is that the staffing is probably cut back. And so as a result of that, the visa interview waiver, the visa waiver interview,
big difference,
it has to do with, I think it has to do with staffing. And I think that
staffing, right now they have the staffing, right? They were dealing with a lot of issues. The VFS was created to relieve the consul of a lot of work, collecting papers and all that. This new agency.
But obviously that didn't work.
Yeah,
so
they're not happy, and they probably should be more unhappy with this also. But anyway, they are at least doing the work, correspondence and everything. You send an email to the consul, they are not replying. The reply is coming from, they don't even know anything about the law. So in any case, in my opinion, hundreds of people they were interviewing. And in the visa waiver, the interview waiver is only for people who are renewing their visas. But a lot of people who have a 10-year visa, others are this visa, that visa, J1, F1 visa, they are going back, they are just taking a fingerprint only, and there are just no interviews. So a lot of people, imagine every day, if there were 800 people going for interviews, probably it's 500 now, at least 200, 300 less. So that's our point of view. Let the consul explain us why they cannot use their time to give a little more information. Let me just go one more point.
It's my hope that when we're there, Michael, we're going to raise this as an issue, and we're going to say this to the U.S. consular officials is, okay, now you got what you asked for, you have the time,
Yes.
so now show us, reflect that additional time in a better communication methodology with us, the immigration lawyers, so that we're able to help our clients to understand what they need to do to overcome these potential issues.
Correct.
Yeah.
The 214B, if they have a little more time, they can spend a little more time on 214B denials too. I don't blame them if there are 800 people outside, visitors, students, this, that. They are also pressed with the time. They are told don't spend more than 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes generally, unless there is a need.
Well, they have capitation requirements.
So they move very fast, and obviously to err is human also, as they say. They could be making a mistake or not getting proper information or articulation that we have talked in the past, and denials. But if they have a little more time, they can talk little more in even interview time, trying to understand. I mean, basically, 214B, the green card holders are going back to surrender their green card and telling them to give me a visitor visa. They do that in many cases. In some cases, they deny. Where is 214B? I'm giving my green card back to you. I'm only requesting you to give me a 10-year visitor visa so that I can go to USA, meet my son and the family.
Right.
Right?
I mean, I understand the consulate's argument then. The consulate could be saying, well, you know, because you had a green card, then there's always a possibility that you might want to immigrate again, even though you're giving it up.
Why would I surrender my green card?
Right.
Then?
Well, no. I can see it both ways. It is one of those issues that goes both ways.
Even if those people don't have a green card, okay? Son is a US citizen, your wife's children, an elderly parent or a grandparent is coming to meet them, right? They deny them. But if they want, and they say you can apply for, they tell them you can apply for a green card. Tell your son to file a petition for you.
Right.
He doesn't want a green card. You're forcing him to go through the whole immigrant visa process.
Well, that's the point. That's the point, is that it should be the choice of the individual what they want to do. Because otherwise the government is almost forcing them into making a decision that they don't want necessarily.
So clients ask me, is that because they want some more fees? So increase the fees for parents if that's what you want. I'm just saying that the certain things don't make sense. Certain things. So this, even I'm saying, even we talk to them, we want to know. I mean, it's a two-way street. We are telling our problem, but they do explain to us why we are doing it also. We are here from. We listen to that and come back and tell you guys.
Right. And I think that both of us appreciate the candor. When you're face to face with a U.S. consular officer, and
we listen to their problems
exactly, and they're telling us that's right, and they're telling us exactly what they're encountering on a day-to-day basis. You know, these are the folks who are in the trenches. They're the ones who are confronting the individuals who are looking for the visas on a day-to-day basis, and their problems are practical problems. Some of which they have ways to deal with, and some of which they don't. So I have to say that I do appreciate their candor, but at least by getting a candid view about how they deal on a day-to-day basis with their problems, that arms us much better to be able to assist our clients, our viewers, with being able to deal with their problems.
That's why, David, they're always welcome us and willing to meet us always, because we are very frank with them and they can frankly tell us.
Exactly.
And we can bring that information to the public. So through us, there's a communication between the public and also the government officials.
Exactly.
In a way.
I agree.
Last point I want to make is on section 214B. You know, when people apply for a visitor visa, student visa, any kind of cases, they just see even a slight thing that they may stay back. It's a guesswork. There's no meter or based upon which, or a machine or a truth test. They just very quick decision. Sometimes because the person doesn't speak good English, sometimes the message that he's conveying, no articulation as we say, they deny that visa. But I'm saying that 214B was enacted maybe even before I started practicing. Long time ago, when people used to misuse, come here illegally, stay here, get married, get green cards. It was a big misuse. There are no restrictions, there are no breaks, there are nothing to stop. With all that happening, the new regulations came in, the laws have changed right now. Basically today if you look at that, if a person come on a visitor visa, he stays one more extra day, his 10-year visa is cancelled, right?
Right.
If he comes and tries to change the status, again, if he does immediately, there's a preconceived intent. That's a problem there,
Yes.
right? If he comes and overstays, right, and want to apply for a labor certification or any kind of visa other than an immigrant visa based upon IR case.
Accruing unlawful presence.
He cannot, just illegal. Then he becomes illegal.
That's right.
And if he goes back to India,
Barred.
10 years bar, lifetime bar.
That's right.
With all these breaks in place, how many people really would want to go through all that? People who are business people who are well settled, family members, especially look at the age and the activities and all that. Some young guys, some very few today, they used to come for just stay back and do work. It's no longer possible. Even the economy wise, even the jobs. How many people with the E-Verify and all the breaks that we have are willing to, able to get a job as an illegal alien? It's not. They have to then underground those kind of jobs.
Too risky.
So with what I'm saying is, this is something the Congress may change at some point, make some changes.
Well, I was just going to say that, Mike. I was just going to say that all of those issues that you've raised are nuances in the immigration law, which probably a lot of what you said, I absorbed it. I think a lot of our viewers don't necessarily know the intricacies of the immigration laws the way you just set it forth. But I think that what it does is it raises to a peak the issue of the fact that this comprehensive immigration reform bill is going to have to solve all of these problems that you raised. There's got to be something and that deals with all those issues and all the inconsistencies that exist in the immigration laws that cause it to be so incredibly confusing. And maybe we'll see something that President Obama will put together that will be comprehensive in nature, that will deal with all these inconsistencies.
In the meantime, what point I'm making is consulate officers have given full discretion to make a decision on 214B. So all I'm saying is that you are the officer and you have to make the decision. We agree. Nobody can question your decision. But we are saying, please take these things into consideration. How likely it is for this man to stay back illegally? A businessman, he's got a wife here, he's got children here, he wants to go for 1 month or 2 months. Is he going to subject himself to all these 10-year bars and illegal stay there and leave the wife and children and business there? Look at a broader picture.
Well, you're presenting a practical approach,
Correct.
and that's what I think you're saying is, and that's not different than what we talk to the consular officials about when we're there. Is that look, there has to be a practical approach to what you do. In addition to the academics, let's also take some of the practicalities.
But the real life, and it does make a little difference. Hopefully, continuing it probably will be more helpful.
Well, it does. I think it causes them to take a step backward and to look at things a little differently.
Well, I think we're coming to the end of the program. Thank you very much for being with the program. And
Thanks
thank
so
all
much,
of you
Michael.
for watching the program. Keep watching us every Saturday at 1 p.m. Saturday at 7:45 p.m. And Sunday morning is 11:45. Thank you very much and goodbye.